Here we are with another Friday Night Live, February 18th, 2022. Let's do a sound check. All right, looks okay. All right, hope everybody's doing freaking amazing. It's a beautiful day we have. We had a lot of snow last night. We're shoveling after plus Celsius temperatures, and we had more shoveling. I think we're getting more snow tonight. So all is well, except for some people who've been beaten up today in Ottawa. Let's elevate the souls of these demonic forces. I don't know what else we want to call them. They trampled an old lady with a walker with her horses. May God have mercy on their souls. They will need it. Hi, Nima. Yeah, let's go inwards. The only thing we can change is ourselves and improve ourselves and have a wonderful connection. Missed the start. Who? Oh, in Ottawa. Just cops trampled an old lady in a walker with their horses. They're doing a clampdown on the peaceful protest truckers. So we got to stay really focused on ourselves. Yeah, it's beyond sad. It's demonic. And be the change we want to see. Be that change we want to see. What parts are you from, Nima?
Yeah.
Iranian from your Melbourne, Australia. Yeah. Iran,
Yes, hi. Hi, Nima.
peaceful country. I have a very good friend of mine who's Iranian, and he told me so many stories about them growing up, and it was a beautiful, wonderful country.
It still is.
And yeah, it still is. And
Good
there was a guy who was traveling around the world. I can't remember his name, and he went to Iran.
I think Ben, right? Ben.
And he said it was the most peaceful, generous people he has met in all his world travels. And I was talking to my friend. He goes, "Yep, that's the way it was." He goes, "You'll never go hungry in Iran." Yeah.
Now people are nice.
Yeah, but this is recent. A few years ago he did the video.
Right.
And yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, the whole area. I find Iran, probably also Afghanistan. I mean, I don't know enough, but it feels like the whole area is such beautiful people.
Iran has
Iraq. I know Iraqi people. And very nice people. Iraq, Iran, and Afghanistan. I'm sure many other countries around.
Well, Iran has not invaded any other countries in over 300 years. So that's very interesting statistic that you were born in Australia. Okay. So, have you ever been there? I've never been myself, but my friend described They had the mountains, they had the Caspian Sea. It was just a beautiful place for growing up until things changed. Yes, but I was super young, so I don't remember much. Yeah. Well, maybe one day, you know, you can return and check it out and see where your roots are like, right? Because it's always nice to go back to see your the roots of your heritage and the customs of the people where you come from. Yeah, we know about what's going on these days.
Yeah, there's so much happening in the world today. Not just that, right? The whole area, yeah, it's not very stable.
Let's see, all we can do is focus on ourselves and help others.
Yeah, it starts with ourselves, right? Like we can't help people until we feel good with ourselves. With the best of our ability. I'm on day 9 at the moment, 24-hour dry. I feel great. Do you think I should keep going with the dry? I would highly suggest to follow the protocol with the cycles, the daily window, the weekly window, and the monthly window. So if you're on a monthly, you do 72 hours. If you're on a weekly, you do 24 hours. I do not recommend you push beyond the cycles of what's in the protocol until you've gotten, a good couple of years of living and loving it with those cycles. And, slowly you start expanding on those season changes, right? Which, and keep the clean minimal eating, because if you don't keep the clean minimal eating, you're not going to see much happening. You're going to get a lot of stresses on the body, and it's going to be very, very hard on you. I'm doing the dailies. I'm on the weekly at the moment. Okay, well, 24 hours is great. So do your get set for your monthly, and then next month we have our season change coming up, which is the 21st of December. March. Sorry, spring. December. I'm thinking of something else. So we have spring coming up, not winter. And so put a lot of focus on expanding on the season change is what I would recommend. We, for newbies, 3 to 5 days. So 3 is your monthly. So we want to go more than 3, 3.5, 4 days, 4.5, 5 days. If you can get up to 5, it would be great. And make sure you break the fast properly. So you don't get yourself in a challenging situation. Yeah, the most important thing is, of course, to make it a lifestyle, right? That's the hardest part for most people. So, right? Be consistent with the lifestyle. So, yeah. It's hard. I was crazy craving last night, but I stuck in there. Good job. Yeah, the full moon was on Tuesday, I think. And it was, I had some cravings as well. The full moons are very, very powerful drawing energies. And when you're in a purging state, these energies will have more force on the body purging. And is why we get into very powerful emotional states when we're going through the full moons, even without fasting. So when you are fasting, it's much more powerful on that force being pulled out of us, those obstructions wanting to, be pulled out. So that's why many practice the dries on they do the full moons, right?
The monthly ones.
So yeah, you can do the monthly on the full moons, and or even the weekly, but it's then you're going to be changing.
It's actually,
your times.
easier to go through the full moons when the body is much lighter, right? When the body is much less obstructed. With more obstructions, the full moons are much harder, emotionally, physically, emotionally, spirit, everything, right? So as we release and clear obstructions, it becomes much easier to go through the full moons.
It was hard. I was having cravings last night, but stuck in there. Yeah, just do your breath work, keep yourself busy. That's the best thing, the enemas. But if you're doing dry, no, you're not doing enemas. But if you're on wet, just do extra enemas and keep yourself very busy and doing something you love, and you'll go through it very easily. Honestly, when I flush at the moment, I can feel something is not wanting to let go. Yeah, that happens. And that's why we continue to use the tools and just, continue digging, continue washing, because it is something wanting to let go. And it's just you're gonna have to go through whatever you're gonna have to go through before it decides that it dislodges itself in the physical, mental, and emotional state, so you can purge it. But I haven't gotten over yet. Yeah, so Nima, these are things that happen when we live a fasting lifestyle. You're going to go through many different phases of many different things,
especially towards the beginning of a fast. As you get like into 2 months, 3 months, let's say a long fast, then it's much easier to release. But at the beginning, the body takes maybe a month to release a lot of stuff, the plaque.
So for some, it takes a lot longer than that. Yeah. Everybody's different. Everybody will go through a different experience. There's no two fasts, even with yourself, that are alike. So there's always a new surprise in a fasting lifestyle. The spiritual journey will shed light on us in many different ways. And we embrace them all. No matter what comes, we embrace it. And we continue to move down the path towards the divine, because what else is there? We're all going to go. We're all going to get that tap on the shoulder.
We are here to serve the Creator.
Let's go. It's time to leave your physical body. We're going to get that tap one day. And for, any of us who believe that we're going to be able to escape that, well, good luck, because we're all going to get the tap on the shoulder, and we may be able to enhance our life experience here, for sure. We may be able to extend it to some degree, but at the end of it all, we're going to get the tap on the shoulder when we're done here, when the soul has finished its experiences for what it came to come here for, and what we needed to learn, and then we're gone. We're going to go, no matter what health state you're in.
Yeah, nobody can keep us
so
here.
what I always said for many years when I started this journey, I says, I want to die healthy. I want to die healthy. That's my goal. I want to die healthy. I don't want to die in pain, misery, and suffering.
No, we can die in accidents as well.
Yeah, well, you'll be a healthy state.
The accident can be horrible too, right? Like you don't.
Yeah, well, but you were in a healthy state.
Let's just work on a good health.
So that's my goal.
So when we grow up,
you can have your own goal.
We grow up with a good health, but how are we gonna die? I mean, it can be horrible. We don't know. It can be torturous, right? So we hope for the best. That's all we can do.
We seen some comments from people. It's a dear friend who died recently in the natural healing health movement, and people are making comments that this and that could have been avoided. How arrogant can people be? Yeah, we can do things up to a point, but when we get that tap on the shoulder, we're done. and we're going to be taken from our physical body. Nima. So if we learn to live off air when our bodies are 100% cleansed, there's no such thing as 100% Nima. Like, will it reach an optimal weight level? I asked because I saw a lady a while back posting the group who was very, very, very skinny. It's fine. But is this how it's always going to be? Everybody's different, Nima. We just said that there's people, there's a few people, a handful of people who've gone the long 108 days and they've went to skin and bones. Not everybody went to skin and bones. So, you know, we don't recommend people going 108 days when we're starting off. We recommend the levels. So you do it slowly and chip away slowly, because those dramatic changes, what we've seen with so many people is it's too much of a shock to their emotion, and nobody really had the understanding of what's to be when they started eating again. And this is the challenge with fasting. We need to train ourselves like an athlete, a little bit every day, a little bit every day, a little bit every day. We continuously train ourselves, and we start getting better and better, and we start expanding, and we get much better in what we're doing. And that's same thing as the fasting and spiritual lifestyle. We have to chip away at fasting and breaking the fast over and over and over again. So it sinks in emotionally of what it feels like and what we're going to go through. Because when you do a long many weeks of no eating, then you go to eat, nobody has a clue what's going to happen or the experience unless they go through it. So it's better to fall off from short fast than it is from a long one, because what in the almost 32 years of fasting, I've not seen many people die of fasting. The only people that die of fasting are people that are doing really not prudent things,
it's not
not wise things, and they break their fasts horribly. The worst part is people. Sorry, I've got it mixed up. People that would die through fasting would be people that say, "I'm breatharian now," and then they stop eating. We've seen a few cases like that.
Not a master fast.
I'm just talking generally in the fasting world. And people, just said, they believed they were breatharian and they didn't want to eat no more, and they died. This is maybe a couple of cases I've heard in all these years. There may be more. I don't know. The people that break their fast horribly and go back to eating anything and everything, that's where the real danger is, because it can put some frame of minds into a very uncontrollable state. Meaning, they like one case I remember, they couldn't control themselves to stop eating. They just continued eating and eating. They felt like they were going to blow up, and they couldn't stop themselves.
Yeah, it happened to many of us, by the way.
So
many of us. You think it's rare? Wait until you do a long fast.
We don't recommend you do 108 days.
It happened to me so many times. So you think it's rare? It's not rare at all. You think it's easy when you're fasting.
Yeah,
when you break the fast, oh my God, it's really difficult.
We think we've mastered the emotion, the mental, and this physical body from doing a long fast.
No.
You haven't mastered anything, because when you start eating, that's when you're going to see what happens.
Maybe you have mastered fasting, but you haven't mastered eating. Mastering eating is much harder than mastering fasting. Fasting is easy compared to eating. So whatever we do, honestly, like at the end of the day, it's a lifestyle. People, yes, I have lost a lot of weight on long fasts. I've done a couple of long ones on master fast, and I have lost a lot of weight, and I got lots of comments from people, around me. Many people on the master fast have done even, have done the master fast, but even pushed their dries, and of course, when you push the dry, you're even shocking your body even more, because a long fast, in my opinion, is a shock to the body. The body has to adjust physically, emotionally, spiritually, you know, it's like the whole thing, it has to adjust. So with a long fast, it doesn't have time to adjust. If you're fasting, if your lifestyle is just fasting, then sure, you're working on your lifestyle. But most people are not getting into the master fast to go liquidarian, right? So this is not your lifestyle. Master fast, like liquid and dry, is not the lifestyle. The lifestyle will include food. So I would include food now, because it's always hard to include food later, after a long fast. So yeah, many people have who have done long fasts. To be honest with you, we don't see them anymore. So they have pushed themselves beyond their limits, and then they have pushed themselves, and then they're not here. They have pushed themselves, and then we don't see them. Where are they? So it's good that you do a long fast, but then where are you? Like, comment on that, please. Done. Yeah.
It's like I said earlier, we're into these long fasts and we believe we are superhuman and we have mastered everything, and then when we go eat, we go cuckoo. So we haven't mastered anything. The thing is that slow, steady.
Yeah, people are not consistent when they do, long fast. They're not around anymore. They're not living the lifestyle. We don't see them.
No, most people are trying to fix something, and that's the last thing you should be living and loving a master fast lifestyle. To fix something ain't going to happen. You need to live and love. You need to live and love the master fast lifestyle. Less is more, because you're going down the path of the divine, a spiritual journey, and then the health takes care of itself. The physical body, you don't have to even think about it. Everything happens automatically in autopilot. You don't have to think about it. It just happens. If you're going down the path, if you're coming here to fix something, I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't work like
I don't agree with it.
Like to lose weight or to fix some, this disease or something.
Most people want to fix
it doesn't
things.
work. It really doesn't work, because you may resolve it a little bit. Of course, you will be working on it on a long master fast, but it will come back when you go back to eating whatever it is that you're trying to resolve.
Yeah, the health of the physicality is the least of our worries. The relationship with divine should be our priority in all things we do, because we're only here temporary. We're only on this plane temporary, and yeah, we want to be in this plane as in the best physical condition as we possibly can, mental and emotional. They all go hand in hand, but the priority is in the spiritual. What was the saying Wayne Dyer said? Was it Wayne Dyer? There's a spiritual solution for every problem. There's a spiritual solution for every problem. And I'm going to say it one more time. There's a spiritual solution for every problem. And fasting goes hand in hand to enhance our wanting to go down the spiritual path. And in doing so, when we make that choice, emotionally, mentally, and physically make that choice to live that lifestyle, then we see the magic happen. Nima, so one thing I've been thinking about is the disconnect from people one may face when they fast, like family dinners. Yeah, if we're all past, in a way, isn't it better to keep eating to keep those relationships? What do we say? We love eating, but we love fasting way more. I used to be, an anal raw foodist and anal faster. I went to weddings and all that, fasting, or I went to, people's homes.
Which is good.
I wouldn't eat.
It's important to do what we want. If you want to eat raw food, eat raw food.
I wouldn't eat any cooked food and any all that. I went down those roads, and after many years of that, I looked and things with the spiritual aspect of it and said, you know, those people were much more uncomfortable than myself. You put people in an uncomfortable situation because they're inviting you over to eat, and then you don't want to eat. So what would make more sense spiritually? There's a spiritual solution to every problem. Is make those days available for yourself to eat, and just eat, you know, as clean as you possibly can in those situations, or bring your own food and share some of your food with them. And then focus on the days that, you know, you're not socializing, to put your fasting days in, your busiest days. And everybody is happy. You're not doing it to make people happy. We're doing it to make the right decision in a spiritual sense.
Okay, I have another suggestion. Gino, that's one way is to eat other people's food. Another way to do things is to find the best way to love your family without offending them. We don't need to eat their food. We can bring our food, or we can fast if we want to fast that day that we meet them. As long as we learn how to communicate our love to them and make sure that they are as comfortable as they can possibly be, we don't have to eat if we don't want to eat. We can still do what we want. We can be different. It's okay. We all love and respect each other. And slowly they will get used to us, that and you know, they will be reassured that we love them so much. We have to learn how to not bother them as well. You know, when we're fasting, we're feeling amazing, or we're eating raw food. You know, when we start these journeys of raw food or fasting, I feel I go through that. We share too much, and they are not ready to listen. So we have to give them space as well. We can't be pushing our ideas too much on them, because they need their space. The best way to inspire them is to just live it, right? Without pushing our ideas on them, and our beliefs, and let them decide. You know, they are free. We have to give them their space. So there is a way to do it, but it has to be, I mean, I many times I go to my families and I don't eat. Sometimes Gina eats, I don't eat. I'm fasting, and they are totally fine, because they got used to me. They got used to me some days eating, some days not eating, right? Right, Gino? They don't bother me whatsoever. But if we go to a new friend's home and they're inviting us over and they're eating, maybe, yeah, they won't feel comfortable because they're not used to us, because it's new for them. But the family and close friends, they are totally fine. I've been to, not too long ago, I've been to people's places. They cooked, but they're not just inviting me, they're inviting so many people, and everybody's enjoying the food. And I'm helping them, serving, you know, cleaning, and so, and, you know, having conversations. I find it's actually, it's wonderful to socialize fasting. It's really nice to socialize fasting. There's something to it as well, so it's also special. Yeah. Anyways, there is a way, is what I'm saying. We don't have to necessarily do what they do. We can be different, and we can still respect and love each other.
Infinite ways, spiritual journeys. So you think eating every now and then hinders your progress, kind of thing? If you're doing very obstructive foods, yeah, it's going to hinder, because eating and healing do not belong in the same sentence. That makes sense. Trying to love is true purpose and what people want to feel. Yeah. So, you know, hinders. True healing is in a fasting state. It's because I found it's the way that we can connect the best to the divine. It really opens us up, opens our heart, because there's nothing else to get in the way in the physicality when we're, you know, busy doing so many things to stuff our faces. So when we're in a fasting state, it's a beautiful place to be, and it's where we see the magic happening. What's a fasting state? Well, the true fasting state is really only the dry fasting state, and is why we call master fasting the glorified dry fast. We have the cycles of the dry fast, and if you maintain that, wet and dry, squeezing and washing over and over and over and over again with clean, minimal eating, you're going to see major things shifting and changing in your life, and that's what it's all about. So if you're living and loving it and maintaining at least 3 to 4 days, level 3 to 4, you're going to be able to stay in what we call the de-obstructive state. If we're eating more than 3-4 days a week, I can't see the body being in a de-obstructive state. 1 day a week, MFS,
Maybe it's too little.
you're not going to see much really happening. It's a start for some people. That's where they may need to start. Most people should be able to start at 2 days a week,
But remember,
like probably over 90%.
yeah,
And once you get 2 days, okay, yeah, 2 days is you're going to see something. 3 days, you're going to start seeing more.
okay, I have
And
to
then
add
4
something.
is really beautiful.
Yeah, but of course, even if you're doing 1 day, you can see a big change, because of the food. If you're eating junk and obstructive food and doing 1 day, you're not going to see much. But if you are following the protocol and improving your diet in like 6 days a week, and then 1 day you're fasting, you're going to see changes. Of course, when you change your diet, you will see change. The 1 day a week of fasting is good, but it's not enough for fasting, for big transformations. But of course, when you change your diet, when we say level 1, level 2, the food is very, very, very important, because most of the days we're eating, right? So the food is very important. It's what we do most of the time, if you're doing level 1 or level 2. If you're doing levels 5, 6, 7, and you want to eat on 1 or 2 days a week, they will, your body will tell you. If you eat obstructive food, you don't even need to read the protocol anymore, because it's just so obvious that if you eat obstructive food, the body does not like it. You will know the difference because you're fasting most of the time. But if you're eating most of the time, like level 1 or 2 or 3, you're eating most days, in my opinion, it's important to work on the diet, because most days we're eating. So at least let's avoid the obstructive food. Nima, what are you thinking for like the lifestyle? How many days more or less are you thinking to eat, or do you see ideal for you? Because everybody's different, right? What they want. It's not what we can do, because we can do a lot of stuff, in my opinion. If I can do something, I know anyone can do it. It's not what we can do, it's more what we want to do, and when we know what we want, we can go for it. Nothing would stop us, as long as we're true with the divine.
Back to the weight loss thing. Everybody who went to Skin and Bones put on beautiful weight after. It takes time. It takes time for the body to readjust when you remove all those obstructions. Some people put it back with obstructive foods, and that was their choice. That's not a sensible way, a good way, but we all have free will to choose what we want to do.
And we all do mistakes as well.
But
free will, but we do mistakes. It's not like we are we don't do mistakes. We do mistakes, and we learn from our mistakes.
There's people who've chosen to stay on liquids, and then after a while they start putting on weight and building muscle on the same protocol. So you have to ask, why is it happening with some people and some people it's not? Well, it depends on what they're doing. What are they living and loving it? Or are they stuffing their face?
And yeah, may I say that most people who put on, they don't really put on like fat or anything like weight, you know. It's still very lean body, but it takes, in my opinion, you know, it takes maybe like Marine, it took him off like just continuous liquidarian, you know, dry lifestyle, massive fast. It took him 2 years maybe.
more than 2 years to gain weight.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really, it's more like muscles, right? It's lean muscles is
Well,
what
muscle
he
weighs
gained.
more than anything else.
Yeah, that's why he gained. So it's not like you know, being chubby or anything. Yeah, I would say most people who lost a lot of weight and then gained, like started to look normal. I would say it took them a year, 2 years at least. At least it doesn't. And for me, when I, you know, do a long fast, I lose weight again, and for Gino too, you know. And then but he doesn't, Gino doesn't become like super skinny. Like, I mean, people do comment if he does a long dry, they do comment, but he doesn't look sick, you know. He looks still fine. If I do a long dry, I would look it, you know, it would show on my face. Yeah. Anyways, it takes time. So for me, I'm still working on it.
People think that, you know, when you're in a fasting state, you look sick. It's only because they're seeing a reflection of themselves. Nima, I think I'm going to try and go for around 30 days. After eat clean, no meat, but I'm thinking of eating other food like rice, and I haven't thought too much about it yet. So that means you haven't been eating like this, and you plan on doing it after 30 days. I wish you good luck, Nima, because we haven't seen that happen for the most part.
People
If you're not doing it already, and you
like
think
the lifestyle,
yeah,
the food,
and then you think you're going to do it after a long fast, 30 days is a long fast.
I would start introducing food because you don't want to shock your body.
Yeah, eat 1 day a week.
I mean, how many stories did we hear of people doing 2 weeks and then getting constipated because they didn't break it properly, because they don't care to eat properly. They really don't. Like, they're not into raw foods, or they don't know much about raw foods, you know.
Start eating 1 day a week and see how you handle that. And you're going to see you're going to sit, you're going to be in the face of your emotions when you start eating, and keep it clean. Just fruit.
You may go back to your old ways. Nima's asking, well, yeah, I mean, after the 2 weeks.
Many have gone back, or worse.
Yeah.
Or worse than their old ways, because their emotions, they're uncontrollable. Because what do we say? Everything, all imbalances will come to the surface when you start fasting. All imbalances, A to Z, on every level. Physical, mental, emotional.
You'll be amazed.
And they're going to be coming, and you're going to continue. It's a continual purging. And that's why it's a spiritual journey, because we don't want to hold on to anything. You know, when we're walking with the divine, we don't want to have any baggage. So we have to purge and purge and purge and purge, because we've been accumulating for, who knows, thousands of years. And we through all our lineage, our ancestral lineage, we have a lot of baggage, all of us. So we need to purge and purge and purge and purge and continuously purge, because through the purging is we are going down the path of balance. The more we purge, the more balance we achieve. And it's never a destination where, okay, we've achieved balance. It's a continual journey.
Yeah, as long as we're alive, there's room to keep releasing. Releasing and receiving as well. You know, it's a cycle. It's not just releasing. You know.
Of course, we receive, but you can't receive until you give. That's the whole flow of the energies.
Yeah. For your question, do you mean I will go back to my old ways of eating? Yes, many of us have. Yes, absolutely, we have. I mean, not too long ago, earlier this year, a relative did, master fast, and then, constipation after. Why? Why do we get constipated after after a 2-week fast? Because of the food that we're eating.
Because all weaknesses come to the surface.
Well, it goes back to the food, absolutely to the food. When people break their fast, when they are fasting, they're not constipated. Right? Wrong. When they're
the
fasting,
food has to do with it, of
when
course.
they're fasting, they're not constipated. You give them the food that they used to eat. I mean, even if they eat a little bit better, it's not enough. They really have to watch what they're eating. I mean, they had hemorrhoids. How many times I had hemorrhoids after a long fast because I eat, but I thought I eat good, but it's not good enough. We have to be very careful after a long fast.
All the weaknesses will show up much stronger when you start fasting. And if you're eating poorly, you're going to hinder what the body's trying to do to move towards balance through the heavy obstructive foods. And it's getting in the way of what the body really wants to do. And that's why it looks like things may be getting worse for people. But it's only because they're not eating well. They're not eating clean and minimal.
Remember, the body is very sensitive, much more sensitive after a long fast. So it's so like a baby. You wouldn't give a baby heavy food because they can die, right? You have to be very gentle with the baby. For a year they're drinking milk. So we have to be very, very gentle with our body after a long fast.
Fruit and more fruit. Ariel, how are you doing? I have been practicing eating fast for a few years now. A lot of living the past 12 months have been all fruit. Awesome. So I think I'm ready for a long fast. Why not? You've been doing it for a while. You have the psyche of what happens when you fast and break the fast. You've done that several times. So
you're right.
it just multiplies when we do a long one when we're coming out of it. And that's the thing. We really have to decide and be ready for having fasting as a continual part of our lifestyle. Because if we're not, then I don't see reasons why anybody's going to do a long fast. It's just for the experience. Okay, that's you can choose to do that, but you're not going to be a happy camper going back to food. That's what we've seen. People start pointing fingers at everybody except themselves when they do things that are not wise after a long fast. Look in the mirror.
Nima,
take charge.
Nima saying maybe I'll take it down a level or two. Yes, absolutely. I highly suggest that you start introducing the food just 1 day a week or 2 days a week, just to train yourself to eat so that you're not shocking yourself when you start eating again. Ariel, I have been blocked in my songwriting and want to be inspired.
Absolutely. Fasting state is
clears the head.
Inspiring state.
Gives energy
in every which way. It's just there's no comparison for myself. Eating state and fasting state, it's night and day. Especially for me is the dry days. It's just like everything just opens up and information just starts pouring through. When I eat, I'm it's just for myself. I'm just cut off. I can't get through even if I'm eating fruit. For me, it's very, very drastic
for everyone.
Very drastic. Well, no, some people are just gonna be able to stay open and stuff. For me, it's very drastic because my body's become so sensitive, and anything I put in the body, I can feel it. Whereas the average person eats anything and everything, and they don't feel any different. because they're in a complete numbed out state. And that's the difference. So when you start fasting, you're going to see the difference of being in a numbed out state and being in a beautiful, inspired, opened up state, dancing with the divine. So, yeah, go for it, Ariel. Really set your mind, your emotion, play it in your head. That's what I do. I just play it in my head that, I'm planning on the fast I want to achieve. And then, it doesn't always happen on the day I plan. Sometimes, I'm going to start today or tomorrow or whatever, or next week. And it just doesn't happen. For myself, I just like for right now, I'm planning for the spring long dry. And I put it into my head over and over and over, planning for that. That's the way I do it. And then bang, there's a date, I get inspired, bang, I just do it when it's close to that time. So everybody's different, and embrace whatever comes. But once you get in it, in the first 3 days or 3-4 days, a week is usually the toughest for most people. And then as we unleash the GI tract, we free it up. It gets easier and easier and easier until we hit a healing reaction, an area where there's obstructions needing to come out, and it's a little bit of a challenge because of the environments we live in, and because they're not natural. And these are the challenges that the body's trying to purge, physically, mentally, emotionally. Of course, the emotion is the biggest hump of blockage of obstruction, where we really need to use as many tools as we possibly can. That the broth, the kidney tea broth, what we call it, it's helped so many people that were just a real huge challenge with the emotions, doing the long fast, the master fast, and just taking some of the broth, and it just helps settle those emotions. It's just like, whoa. So we can see how much matter affects every sense of our being, including our emotion. And the essential oils work wonders. Everybody should have essential oils. And get yourself some crystals. Play with crystals, and use a lot of tools to help block out and help
just to help you out, some natural
block
tools.
out all the aggressive frequencies and so on and so forth. Your charcoals and your nano coppers and your crystals and all your things that help with that. So yeah.
Yeah, the spring is a good time to start.
So yeah, it's spring cleaning, great time.
Ariel is saying up. I'm dry today. Interesting how every fast is different. I'm not feeling it yet, and it's day 20 here. Nice. Yes, all intentions, for sure.
You mean you're on day 20 of your fast?
Master fast.
Okay, awesome.
Not difficult at all yet. I feel more of an emotional detox than anything.
It's the emotions, the physical stuff. The physical stuff is simple for most people. It's the emotions that everybody has the big challenges with, and that's why we say, or Wayne Dyer said, there's a spiritual solution for every problem. Dion, which broth is this?
The vegetable broth with the kidney tea base. It's in the protocol. So if you look at the kidney tea, how to take it, we do mention the broth.
It's in the protocol or tools? I don't remember. Protocol. Yeah, there's
it's vegetable broth with the kidney tea.
You have your kidney tea, and then you just add a bunch of different vegetables.
Celery,
and we're not chugging this stuff all day. We're drinking small amounts. 1 or 2 cups a day, because we don't want to.
I mean, if you want to drink more, it's gonna be like not with the same intensity as Masterfast. It would be like Masterfast liquid hybrid, where you have like different liquids other than the protocol.
Yeah, if you want to slow things way down,
Yeah, you
drink
slow
more
things
broth
down, but
or green juice.
but it
Just
keeps you going, you know, because you're not eating, right?
slows things way down.
Yeah.
Nima, can you replace the lung tea with the kidney tea? Or if not, when should you take the lung tea? And is the liver tea only for colon cleansing? No. I wouldn't replace the kidney tea with the lung tea. The lung tea is designed for when people have more challenges with the lung area, right? So you would add that, and you can mix that into the kidney tea, or you can do it on its own, and you can also breathe it in, and
Breathe the steam.
the steam from when you're boiling it, you bring it to a simmer and put a towel over your head and just breathe in, help that go into the lungs. I wouldn't replace it in the kidney tea. The kidney tea is the
Part of the protocol.
the main part of one of the main parts of the MFS protocol, where we call tinctures and tea and tea, and it's very important. The liver tea, you can also add that into your kidney tea.
Like a teaspoon.
We like to just put a teaspoon into the cup of our hot tea and just stir it in. You may get a bit of sediment and stuff, and that's okay. Some people don't like it, so you may want to strain it out. We just mix it in, drink it down. And it's also can be used for adding to your as one of the teas for doing enemas, right? Instead of the old harsh coffee way, doing coffee enemas, we do herbal enemas. And liver tea is one of them that you can use for doing enemas. So you can, if you're going to do an enema with it, you mix it in, let it infuse for a bit, a few minutes, and then strain it out as best you can so it doesn't plug up your tubes and everything. If you let it settle, have to stir it really well when it's hot, and it'll settle out, and the heavier stuff will go to the bottom. Then slowly pour it out and strain it through a sieve, whatever, and that way there you can add it to your enema bag or your Colima board pail, or colonics if you're doing infusions. So yeah, they can all be used, together. Just like we have so many tincture formulas, we're taking them all together because these the herbs, the herb world are very highly elevated beings, and you don't need to direct them on what to do. They know what to do when they go in the physical body. They first react with the emotion and mental and physical body, and they help the body do what it needs to do. That's what they do. They just give directions. They're just a tool, a very powerful tool to give directions for the body to do the work. The body does the work. The herbs don't do anything. They just give directions. And thank God for herbs because it makes things much, much easier for us living a fasting lifestyle. Okay, got it. Thanks from me. Okay, Ariel, I'm determined to find a good colonic place. Yeah, good luck. If I'm doing 5 to 7 gallons colima 5-6 days a week, how often would you recommend a colonic on top of this? Well, you got a colima board, yeah. So even if you could do once or twice a month would be great. If you can do it once a week would be better. It's just you get that much more water flowing through you to help clean things out at a better state.
And you can take more water, because with the colima board, the insert is too small.
It's an open system.
The insert is too small, so the water will keep coming out when you're, but with the colonic, you can take in more water. Have you done colonic before, Ariel?
No.
It's the first
She
time?
just posted it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so colonics are wonderful and amazing. Um, you know, if you have, it's it's pricey for people to go, trying to do them daily. It's we don't need to do that because we have enema bags and we have, if you have a Kalima board, even better. But colonics are a wonderful aid to get more of a flushing done, you know, and just like with anything, anything can be overdone. When you're in a fasting state is when we want to do the daily washing, except for the dry days, right? We want to keep that washing. When we're doing levels and we're eating and so on and so forth, it's good to take breaks from doing from washing the colon and enemas. It's good to take breaks. You don't need to do it every day, but you can do daily if you like, if you're when you're eating.
It does help, that's for sure.
It just keeps things moving better. After you wake up, you go have your ritual in your bathroom, and then you wash after. So it's just to keep things from backing up, because depending on the lifestyle and what level of obstruction we choose to eat, we're going to be backing up if we're not living and loving a fasting lifestyle. We're going to be backing up, and the transit time can vary greatly in different people, from as little as several hours to over 24 hours, or 2-3 days for some people as a transit time for things to get going through. That's how backed up some people are.
But it really depends on what we eat as well, like for each individual.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're different in terms of constipation, because some people are more backed up from many years than other people, but the food makes a difference to everyone.
If you want to have a long transit time, eat lots of fat and lots of protein, and you get up to 3-4 days.
And grains.
And do lots of harm to the physical body, because
and potatoes.
We haven't seen anybody who's on these high fat, high protein diets who has good transit times and good bowel function. They're all plugged up, every single one of them, even the vegans that are doing it, because I was there as well, remember. It's a myth that fats are good for you. If they were good for you, why does the body have a challenge to let go of these things?
Yeah, I mean,
big
the
challenge.
Nuts and seeds are, like, you can tell the nuts and seeds when people eat them, they get really blocked, especially people who overeat them.
So, Ariel, 1 or 2 a month would be nice. If you can do 1 a week, be nicer. Whatever, but at least 1 or 2 a month when you're decided to jump in a long master fast. It's really helpful. There'll be sometimes when you do, as you're doing your Kalima, and it's just one of those days that nothing really moves out, and that happens. But sometimes if you would add another pail to your Kalima board, and then you start seeing things happening. Sometimes it's delayed, and that's happened to me a lot. It's like nothing's going on 30, 40 minutes, 45 minutes, and then things start pouring out. So yeah, Nina, I decided I'm sticking to the 30 days. I'm going to write down my reasons, and I feel I have gone through the barrier of losing self-control. We wish you the best, Nima.
Yeah, and also, right, start preparing for how you want to eat, what food, and yeah, because it does take a while. Well, the lifestyle is very important. The transition from fasting to eating is important, but then after that, what do you want to do after, like as a lifestyle?
Great idea to write down. Write down how you see yourself living and loving it. Write it down.
Yeah, like you mentioned grains like rice. Yeah, I would let go of the rice, for example. That's one thing I would let go of. If you want something, a replacement to rice, and it's much easier to digest and it has similar feeling, wild rice would be one.
It's still heavy.
It's heavy, yes.
It's
heavy,
easier. It's a little bit easier on the body.
Oh, much easier than sticky rice. or like rice in general. Rice is very sticky. But the white rice is a seed. It's much easier. It moves much better than regular rice.
Name, I have a Bucks weekend and a wedding. That's where I'm going to stop after 30 days. Eat healthy fruit, then jump back into it. You're going to stop to go to a wedding. Doesn't sound like a good plan to me. With all food at a wedding, be very, very careful. To be honest, I'm not attached to rice.
Fruits?
Rice can go. I'll stick to fruits. Very good.
Rice can go.
Be strong and stick to fruits. Rice is not a good choice after a long fast. It's actually dangerous. Like McFadden, who died after eating boiled potatoes after a long fast.
But even after
rice would be
like even a year after the long fast, it's rice is very sticky compared to other things, you know, that you can eat, you can replace. So you want to, in my opinion, start learning about different food.
Grains are not your best choice. It's always best to let go of grains completely. And if you would want to eat them in your as a life in part of your lifestyle, I would say no more than once every couple of months, small amount. And they're very addictive too. So once you eat them, you want to eat more.
One thing, you know, I would definitely change. I don't know if you have changed that already, but traditional food doesn't work. The way that, you know, our ancestors have been eating, it doesn't work for, you know, for a body, you know, to de-obstruct the body or to keep the body as de-obstructed as possible. Raw food would be like first fruits, and then raw fruits and vegetables would be next, and then after that fruits and cooked vegetables, and I would do my best to stick with that, like cooked vegetables. Would be my max, and if I try something else, I pay the price. So just be prepared. If you do something else, you will have to pay the price. You will make, I'm sure you will make mistakes just like we did. And you know, hopefully everybody will learn from their mistakes.
Nima, I can't eat fruits at the wedding, so what do you plan on eating there? Sounds like a very dangerous plan, Nima.
It's better to fast.
Nima, like you said, when you make people feel uncomfortable, like I said, I fasted at weddings and so on and so forth. You just gotta, you know,
just
make your way, keep yourself busy,
people are gonna be eating, they're gonna be enjoying. So just look, you know, like they're busy. They're gonna be busy eating. They're not watching you. So if the food comes, just tell the waiter that you're fasting. So simple. Just tell them I'm fasting. I'm not gonna eat.
A few weddings, I just asked the people, can I get a big bowl of salad? And they brought it to me, no problem. So, you know, you can do that.
And you don't know, well, big bowl of salad usually will have oils and stuff like that, especially breaking.
You tell them no oils, so you direct them.
Yeah, so
no oil, no salt.
If you want to do that,
just lemon.
If you want to do that, make sure you don't break your fast with that. Break your fast at home days before that with fruits, and then maybe have a salad.
It's not a good idea to break a fast at a wedding. Let's put it that way. We don't recommend it. Break your fast a couple of days before and see how your body feels. Take it easy. 30 days is a pretty long fast, and you know,
I know weddings are a little bit stressful.
fruit. There's every wedding I've been to had fruit at the end. They usually, in Italian weddings, at the end they put fruit when everybody's full. And everybody pigs out and fruit, and then they start fermenting like crazy. That's the way it is, Italian tradition.
All traditions.
Well, I lose a lot of progress breaking for 3-4 days and jumping back in. Where you lose progress. It's a lifestyle. Well, I don't know.
The thing is, you know,
if you plug yourself up and you kill yourself, you're going to lose progress. if you if you do it prudently and just like we recommend with the levels where you're eating and fasting, this is part of your lifestyle.
Okay, Nima, let me say something. I comment about this. It's not that easy to break your fast for a few days and get back on the fast. It sounds easy because we're fasting, but really, when to do it, it's hard. It's hard to do a long fast and then break it and then get back. It's hard for us to do it, and we have done it many times. I mean, we have done many long fasts and eaten and fast eat, fast eat, fast eat. The levels. And it's still hard for me if I do 30 days and eat for only 3 days. Many times it doesn't work. Most of the time it doesn't work. Most of the time I end up eating more.
Depends the state of your emotion and your spirit. So, for most people, it would be a challenge, a big challenge.
I would say 90-something% of people, it's very difficult to get back on track. At the end of the day, what we're working on is a lifestyle. So how do you see yourself living this lifestyle? How many days a week do you see yourself eating? How many days a week do you see yourself fasting? Or do you want to do a long fast every once in a while and then eat every day for the rest of the time? What are you thinking? What's your plan? I plan to make fasting. I mean, I suggest to make fasting a lifestyle rather than doing long fasts here and there. But make it almost a weekly thing, At least 2 days a week is what I suggest. Will I lose it? Yeah. At least 2 days a week, I would say, fasting.
Absolute minimum 2 days. Like I said, 1 day a week is for very small percentage.
Yeah, you're figuring it out.
To start on 1 day a week and move up, you got to move up to 2. Within probably a month, should be able to move up to 2 days a week. 2 months max. Because 1 day a week is really not a lot. It's barely, holding your breath for 1 day a week. So I'm still figuring it out, I guess. There's nothing to figure out, Nima. We just live and love everything we do in this lifestyle and keep the spiritual part of our lifestyle the main goal.
He's deciding his levels. That's what he's saying.
Yeah. So, it's I fluctuate in all different. It's never, you don't have to stay on one level all the time. You can change. You can, be on 2. You can go up to 7 for 1 week, and you can go back down to 5, and you can move it around, and it's never gonna stay the same.
But it's good to have a routine. Many people have a routine with the levels, and they love it. It's good to have a routine. The body loves routine, just like it likes to wake up at a certain time, sleep at a certain time.
What I mean by that is fasting is the only way to optimal health forever. Is fasting the only way for optimal health? Fasting is one of the tools we use, but optimal health is not the goal of fasting. The goal of fasting is a relationship with the divine. The health takes care of itself, Nima. We don't have to worry about the health when we do it for the purpose of
serving the creator.
Yeah, serving the creator, but having a stronger relationship with the divine through fasting, because that's really, if you look at all the past wonderful prophets, they all taught about fasting. Why? Because it's an important part of our lifestyle. Like I know it's a quick way to heal and connect to spirit, but it's not a quick way.
But
It
is it
required after
required?
connection to spirit. I'm 55th figuring it out.
Is it required after for connection to spirit?
Yeah, I know I need to pick up my words better. What about exercise, strength training, building muscle while in this lifestyle? Yeah, what do you mean? We continuously
It's on the
recommend
protocol.
people to move. And if you've never weight trained and then you fast and you want to go weight training, no, you don't do that because you don't know how your body's gonna react and your emotions with the fasting, and it may be a dangerous place. You got to do things with prudence. You want to have movement. You want to yoga, stretching. Yoga, you're going to be building strength as well. You're moving and you're using your body weight and so on and so forth.
Yeah, it depends on the yoga.
People think that yoga is only about the physical part. It's only one of the limbs. There's 8 limbs of yoga. And people only focus on the physicality, the movement. There's 8 limbs. Read the, what is it, from Patanjali? I can't remember now. But from the Vedics, it goes back thousands of years. 6, 7, 8,000 years. They're finding information from the Vedas that have been doing yoga, and the martial arts comes from that too. All martial arts comes from the yogis. It doesn't come from China. So it goes back a long ways, and exercising is one of the important parts of a healthy lifestyle.
So we do
one little thing.
100%. We
There's
recommend
prayer, meditation. There's exercise. There's the words we use,
going out in nature,
the things that the thoughts that go through our mind. Being connected with nature. There's so many things. I don't remember what the 8 limbs of yoga are, but you can look them up. The 8 limbs of yoga, and it encompasses all life, the whole life structure.
The training, you can definitely, build muscles, but slowly, as long as you're doing it with prudence. So live the lifestyle, and on the lifestyle, you can do pretty much everything that you used to do, but slowly. Build yourself slowly. You will do, in my opinion, you will do things better than ever in your life, and in every aspect, not just exercising and building muscles, everything. So
endurance skyrockets when you've been fasting for a while. The endurance goes way up, especially when you're also training with the breath work, minimal breathing, Buteco style. You start utilizing oxygen much better through the carbon interaction of energy exchange. Carbon is what's used, so we need to build up that CO2, and everything improves. Everything. For days when not dry fasting, is it necessary to drink the grape juice throughout the day? For days when not dry fasting, is it necessary to drink grape juice throughout the day, every day when going long term? I'm not sure.
So the protocol is, we on the liquid days, we do drink the juice, and there is a certain amount of the juice that we have to drink, 2 to 3 liters a day. But it's a massive fast is much more than a juice, right? We have the juice, we have the dry fasting, we have the colon washing, we have the herbs in the form of tinctures and tea, and then we have the plasma pudding. So all these things have to be incorporated in the protocol, in the master fast. So, and it's all mentioned in the protocol.
Yeah, if some people want to slow things down, they go to the green juices. And you're talking in the second part here. Also, if you don't have access to a stove, is it okay to have grape juice just raw instead of cooked? Well, most people are buying their juice, so they don't even need a stove.
Yeah.
It's already pasteurized.
Yeah, we're buying it. We're buying it cooked. We don't need to cook anything, but we warm it up sometimes. But we don't need to warm it up. It's already cooked. It's pasteurized in the stores when you buy it. So are you juicing your grapes?
If you're juicing, that's a different story. But going to raw juices, they just don't have the power. That's just, if you want to slow things way down, you can go to raw juices. But we don't recommend drinking raw fruit juices ourselves. If you have an occasional glass of some raw juice, that's okay. But I wouldn't make drinking raw fruit juices a regular thing myself. You go to the green juices if you want to drink raw juices, and that'll slow things way down. So will the raw fruit juices, but they act in the body a bit funny because there's no fiber. The cooked juices, as it goes in, it's a stripper on all levels, and it's very powerful.
Yeah.
So that's what Master Fast, we use cooked grapes and the other juices that we recommend. So if you're deciding to do whatever level of master fasting on the liquid days, we're drinking the juice. We're doing the protocol. If we're not doing the protocol, we can choose to do the master fast hybrid on the eating days, or just regular eating on the eating days and there's no juice drinking at all. Doing whatever, just eating fruit. I don't know. Having a salad.
Nima saying no more Concord grapes available here when I went to buy more. So is this from the store, the juice? Concord grape juice or the fruit? So I bought a new batch of red grape juice. Yeah, still works well.
Yeah, many people have used the red grape. It's not as strong as the dark grape. Even many people have used the watermelon. The reds do have power. The reds, the purples, the blues, they all have power. The dark colors. When you start going in the lighter colors below the red, or the green. The green is very soothing and healing.
It tastes good, but it's slow, right?
And like what other colors, like the oranges and stuff like that. They have some stripping power, but they don't have. There's no match for the dark colors. It's just
you can add it for taste to change.
It's just not the same. So yeah, the red grapes. Many people have used red grapes because that's all they could find. It doesn't have to be a Concord grape. It could be many other dark grapes that are out there. There's so many different grapes.
Or berries, or
pomegranate.
Yeah.
Pomegranate's a little bit tougher to drink. You can mix these juices as well, right? If you like, you can use the
other berries like blueberry.
You can add a little bit of prune. A little bit of prune. Prune is very strong because it's even darker than the Concord grape, right? It's like black, almost dark brown. And also the cherry, the dark cherry, the black cherries. Some people couldn't handle the black cherry; it's too powerful.
I can't drink them.
Yeah, so
the most tasty ones of all the ones we tried pretty much everything because they grow here, and there are companies that juice them. There's one company that juices them all, and they all taste good, but they're much more expensive, and they don't taste as good as the grapes. So we go back to the Concord grapes usually. They're cheap, they're tasty.
I've had amazing grapes in Italy. They weren't Concord.
Juice? Or
yeah,
but they were imported. They were not Italians, right?
No, it was a winemaking place. They had some juice. It was expensive like crazy, but
so you didn't do it for long?
No, I only bought some.
Yeah.
It was way too expensive. And then
you were buying imported one from Germany, right? Yeah. It's funny because Italy has lots of grapes, but they don't sell grape juice.
Yeah, you don't find much fresh.
It's all wine.
You don't find much
grape juice.
Not grape juice, but fruit juices in Italy. A lot of them are just all like junk
Preservatives.
with pop and preservatives and mixed, and they don't have because they have so much fresh fruit, so nobody is into drinking the juices as much. They have a lot of the what do you call them, the nectars, which are blended. They have in Italy. They have pear, peach, and many others. It's like a puree blended.
Smoothie kind of.
Yeah, what do they call them in Italy again? The name I can't remember.
Super.
They have a lot of that. Sugo de frutto they call it, but it's with the pulp. So the grape, the one I have found was imported from Germany. I think they don't have it there anymore. It was mixed with white grape, and that's all I could find after, because I wasn't in the same area. But
Whatever works, right?
it had it was good. People have used it in Italy and other places. But yeah, we the difference in power from the different juices. Yeah, there's going to be differences, but how much power you want. If you want real power, just drink straight prune juice and see how it goes. Your butt will be really sore. It's just too much.
Yeah, in
It's too
Australia,
much.
many people have used different companies. I think winemaking companies, I don't know, but they used different companies to buy their grape juice. And I think many of them used red, the ones who did Masterfast, like long Masterfast. And they loved it. They loved the juice.
Okay.
Good companies.
The one I bought is still very dark. Awesome. All right. Thanks so much for your knowledge and time. Time for me to go and break the dry, the bubbly. Cheers. I was going to keep going, but I'll stick to the protocol. We highly recommend you do. Be prudent, be wise. Don't be in a rush to do anything. Let things happen on their own, and they will every time.
Good.
So where are we? We're an hour and a half. All right. So if anybody has any last questions or suggestions or inspirations, or otherwise we'll call it a night. Thank you so much for joining. It's been great.
Nice to see you, Barbara.
Oh, it's nice to be seen. And you're so beautiful tonight. Kept looking at you going, God, she's so beautiful. And I wanted to share my idea of how I want to die, right? I want to be patting myself on the head going, good job. Look at all the people you helped. And look, your children are like proud and confident and grateful for their lives. And that's like, to me, all right, that was fun. Where am I going next? That's my goal.
Exactly.
That's my goal.
Living forever in the physicality, there's a lot of talk about it. Is it possible? Maybe, but I don't think that that's what we're supposed to do, because the universes are infinite when there are much better places than here. So, this is the material realm, and people get stuck to it and attached to the materialism. And that's the challenge. So I think we all have to be able to just break free and let it go. And when our time comes with that tap, embrace it and enjoy our travels and leaving this heaviness behind.
Hopefully it will be an easy one.
But yeah, here's John. You will have to use Desitin baby cream on the for the prune juice. Yeah, it's just too much. We don't want a sandblaster going through us. You know what I mean? Like, what Masterfast is already very powerful at purging. How much more power do people want? All the power is in the dry. Remember that. And then we want to wash it out. So it works. It's powerful. And leave it at that. We don't need more power. We have all the power we need. Just live it and love it. And when we eat clean and mineral. Simple. Do the best we can, and choose your level of obstructiveness Everybody's going to have a different level. There's no two people that will be living the same level of obstructiveness. Even if two people ate exactly the same, it would be different because the emotions are different. So there'll never be two people be able to live exactly the same level of obstructiveness. We're all unique, and that's the beauty in everybody. We have all our uniqueness, and life would be boring if we're all the same drones. Same emotions, same arrows. It wouldn't be nice. So all the differences make the beauty. Let's embrace it. And let's enjoy each other's differences. And voila, here we are.
Okay, so good.
Thank you, Barbara. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. It's nice to see you together, and I'm watching your relationship grow, to become more and more beautiful. It's exciting. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Barbara and everybody else, thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
We'll call it a night, and we hope to see everybody again back on the page, back on the next Wednesday afternoon call, and keep digging, and let's keep going inwards, and let's take the hand of the divine to guide us.
Amen.
Ciao. Keep that plasma love always flowing.